So, good afternoon, everybody. We're all very pleased to be here. I especially. My name is Sabrina Ibanez, for those who don't know me. I'm the Secretary General of the Fédération Équestre Internationale. I have to say, it's a real pleasure and honor because I just came back from Tryon myself. I spent 3 days there, and to be frank with you, I was astounded by what has been achieved. I mean, when you think that Tryon broke ground in January of 2014, and the games were allocated on the 3rd of November, what has been achieved so far has been, sincerely speaking, inspirational. It just shows what will be in store for the future. At the FEI, we're extremely happy to have the games taking place in North America. We're really happy that Tryon took up the challenge. It is a challenge, but we are completely confident that these are the right people to do it. Not only that, I would have to say that we're happy to have it here also in the United States because for us, it's very important to promote our sport, and I am more than certain that many people are aware of many of our disciplines, but not all of them, and it'll be a perfect opportunity to let them know some of our other disciplines. And the legacy for the country and for the sport in North America is tremendous. I'm also, I have to say, very happy for the people of North Carolina, because when you think about the economic impact that this will bring the region, if you look at the figures that were for Normandy, for France it was 398 million for France and 190 million for the region itself. So it creates jobs, and like I said, it will also be a perfect opportunity for people to discover our sport and really embrace it as much as you do and I do. So that's what I want to say as an introduction, and I want to thank you all for being here. And perhaps, Mary, you'd like to say a couple of words?
Sure. For those who've been watching since I took over as president of the U.S. Equestrian Federation a few months ago, we launched a new vision to bring the joy of horse sports to as many people as possible. And honestly, a great way to make that happen is to run major championships and do it incredibly well so people can fall in love with the sport and bring on a lot more spectators. I think before I say a few words about Tryon, because I was also there for the last few days, is I just think that the organizing committee here, headed by Lisa Roskins, is doing an unbelievably fantastic job, and I was just blown away from the moment I walked in through the airport to the arena, to signage all over the city, to the people in the community that has embraced it. And I think that is critical, a community that embraces it. And I think you're going to find that in North Carolina in general and Tryon specifically. Mark and his team, and he'll go through that. When it came to we needed to have a switch in venue, or the FEI needed to have a switch in venue, Mark approached us, and it took the U.S. Federation, and if you know the U.S. Federation, this is unusual, it took us less than 24 hours to endorse his bid. And the reason for that is we knew he could pull it off, and pull it off incredibly well. And like Sabrina said, everything I saw in the last 2 days I was blown away by, and they'll share some of that with you in a moment. So they will pull it off well. And I will also tell you, from a North Carolina perspective, I was the chairman and CEO of one of the largest companies in North Carolina, and I sit on the board of one of the largest companies in North Carolina right now. And the day after the announcement, I went to the board meeting, and I didn't expect what I got, which was a thank you and just a genuine outpouring by everybody in the management of that company saying, what can we do to help? How can we volunteer? We are so excited that this is coming to our region. So I think you're going to see North Carolina embrace it, Tryon embrace it, the U.S. Federation, and hopefully as a result there'll be more fans and spectators for our sport, and we'll bring the joy of horse sports to as many people as possible.
Thank you so much, Murray. Thank you, Sabrina. We've actually been so inspired, I think, by the meetings we had over the last couple days. This is an important event, obviously, for the FEI and sport in general, and for them to have faith in us, we greatly appreciate it. It was really great, comforting to have their team in Tryon as we discussed, sort of our vision for the sport, the event, and the interactions. I think have been very, very positive. Great responsiveness across their whole portfolio of areas. With Murray, as I agree, you know, you never know what to expect. When I called Murray and heard that the WEG would be available, my first call was to Michael, and he said, hey, do we think we can do this in this time frame? And he, without blinking, he said, let's go for it. And I called Murray, and I would say it was probably less than 24 hours, and that was quite a shock to me. And not only did he say he would take care of it, he'd get us a letter, we got a letter, and we had an application in short order. So we're very thankful for the cooperation, because I think this is a great opportunity for us to frame the sport in this country. And an event like this, and I also, Lisa Roskins, I mean, what an amazing event. We aspire to have the quality and the standard that exists here. I've always said and I've been very, very passionate about equestrian sport. And as I've said to a lot of people, it's probably the most misunderstood discipline in our sport in this country, at least. And I've said to people on a number of occasions, you know, there are 8 million people who will go snow skiing every year. 23 million people will pick up a tennis racket. 25 million people will pick up a golf club, and 27 million people will ride a horse. I've been repeating that constantly, and when people hear it, they're always like, show me the stats. And we'll show the stats, and some of those are in the national park system, where it's the second or third most frequently most frequent activity. But I think the core of this is the connection with the horse, and the love and the fascination that it had. And this country, in many ways, was sort of founded on the back of a horse. And I don't think that connection has disappeared. I think the accessibility has, and the presentation of this, and I think with what the FEI is doing with its Two Hearts campaign, where you're really trying to connect the horse and human, and I think what Murray's doing with the Joy campaign, it's really a great platform. For us, the WEG was, I think, a great opportunity to do something that we thought is part of a platform that we have, and I want to thank Michael Stone also, because if Michael weren't at my side here, I wouldn't be doing this.
It's my fault.
So it's his fault. But in many ways, Michael and I met Michael probably 10 years ago. We're coming on the 10th anniversary. I met him on some polo fields in Wellington, and at that time we talked about sort of getting together. He had expressed his sort of vision for horse sport, and I expressed mine, and we embarked on something in Wellington that has been, I think, very rewarding for me personally and professionally from a family perspective. But to see Wellington evolve into the world's largest dressage festival, the world's largest horse show. We have up to 3,000 horses that will compete in a given week there, and up to 500 or so in the dressage festival. That was really something that we were inspired by. When you look at an event like the WEG, which obviously is a very, very significant event, we feel very, very comfortable that we'll be one of the few organizations that will have a team of people that exist today. So we have over 1,000 people who work in our organization on a part-time basis and close to 200 on a full-time basis. So we have a team that can work directly, immediately with the FEI, with USEF, and are able to sort of coordinate this. And Michael, I think, has probably more experience in the WEGs, in that he, I think, started the first one in 1990 and has worked on everyone since Normandy. So I'm looking to his broad shoulders to make sure this is successful. So I want to thank again everyone for coming here. On the press side, I also want to thank the EJ for inviting us to sort of tap onto their platform. And I also want to communicate that how important the media is to our effort. The biggest challenge we have is getting the message out on how great horse sport is, and whether it's the fascination with the horse, the joy of the horse. The reality is that you're an important group, and I want you to know when you come to the WEG that you will be considered sort of our primary audience here, because of the level of distribution. And I know in other events and other sports and other venues that sometimes they're sort of a second citizen, they put them an hour and a half out and don't necessarily give them great seats. Our goal is to get you guys very close to the action, give you the best seats in the house, because it's your lens, literally and figuratively, that will present the sport to people, and we want you to understand it and have the best experience possible. So thank you for coming to this event, and hopefully we'll see you in Tryon. So I'll throw the next piece here, but the organizing team is going to be right now. The screen's the organizing committee. I was actually waiting for the prompt to come up. It never came on, and I was trying to fill the time.
Doing a great job.
Yeah. But bottom line is, as I said before, Michael Stone, I think, is one of the great sort of partners in this effort. His broad shoulders and the team that he's assembled I'm very confident we can sort of get there. The second piece of this is Catherine Wilsma, who will be doing marketing and public relations, and then I think the final person here on this is Sharon Decker, who's an amazing woman, Secretary of Commerce for the state of North Carolina, very talented individual who can understand and manage in sort of big productions. We also have, as I said, a team of a couple hundred people that sit in various positions from sponsorship to public relations to horse sport and operations, and we'll be bringing those into the mix. Next. Try to go through this quickly, but anyway, in terms of the sport itself, we feel very comfortable that the most important element here is making sure that the venue and the facility for the sport is intact. And so we're confident by even October of this year, we'll pretty much have every single discipline covered. And so there's no risk from a sport perspective. We're just completing the cross-country course and driving course. We have all the sport directors in place, and Michael will spend some more detail on that, but the most important element is the sport itself. We feel very, very comfortable about. We're putting in the infrastructure for the other elements as relate to hospitality and whatnot, but we're very confident that that will be in place. Oh, and I'm sorry. And then one of the reasons we're here is we'll be presenting the brand and brand identification, and we'll start launching an effort. We've been very quiet, working with the FEI and their great team to put together a branding concept in advance of a marketing program and also in advance of ticket sales that will be going on sale probably in the June timeframe. So the official logo you'll unveil here is a logo that incorporates the essence of horse sport, and again, the Two Hearts campaign. We worked with the FEI to try to connect and create a logo that would capture the essence of both the horse and the human interaction. And this is the logo. Horn. Driving was supposed to sport. So the logo will be presented in a number of different manners, but these two examples, or portrait and landscape version, are available on our website, the FEI website, I think the USEF website, as well as Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. So feel free to take those and promote those in your stories. To talk about Tryon itself and the environment, as I think was mentioned, Tryon is a more rural setting. I like to say is it's sort of at the middle of nowhere, but in the center of everything. It's uniquely positioned, I think, between four interesting environments. Charlotte, North Carolina, which is the largest city in North Carolina. It has Spartanburg, Greenville to the south, and Asheville to the north, and those are all within a certain distance and time frame. And I think within that portfolio of cities, there's about 60,000 hotel beds, and so we're confident we can have accommodations for everyone. Next is going to the individual cities, and I think you can probably see this, but we'll just sort of skip through these fairly quickly. But in Asheville, we have the Biltmore State, and just some great beer capitals, micro beer capitals of the world. A lot of great arts and music and festivals. So there's a lot of sort of activity that will hopefully be very accommodating during the 14-day experience. Next one. Charlotte. Again, Charlotte is the main airport. It's an international airport. It has a lot of flights going into it. It's about an hour and 10 minutes from the airport's about an hour and 10 minutes from the facility. We think it'll be a major hub for activity coming into the environment. Asheville also has an airport, as does Greenville, and so there's three options, I think, within a very short distance. So Spartanburg is about 20 to 30 minutes to the south, and again has a very sort of eclectic southern charm that we're excited to expose to folks. So I think between these four areas, really to the north, south, east, and west, there's a number of different options in small communities that we think will make this a great experience for understanding and learning the culture of both America and North Carolina. And I will turn this over to Michael Stone.
Thanks, Mark. So for the games this time, we've tried to compress the days. We listened to what the various stakeholders said after Normandy, and obviously was part of it. But almost everybody said we need to shorten the days up a little bit. So we're now actually starting. The competition starts on the Wednesday, so we've cut it right down. As you can see there, the principle is we have a maximum of 3 events on any particular day. And one of the features this year will be the Super Sunday on the middle Sunday, where we're going to have three medals being given away. There'll be the eventing, team and individual, and the dressage individual final. The one. Oh, we have fun. So I can see that. It's always a help. We're following the traditional program of the games, with having dressage, reining, and eventing the first week, and the second week will be para dressage, vaulting, jumping, and driving. We've assembled a team of some of the best organisers in the world of the individual disciplines, and we're somewhat lucky in that because we organise most of these disciplines all the time anyway. We have an experienced team of people who know how to run top-level FEI events. We'll be looking at doing some community days on the less days, and we're working on the ticketing to make it accessible to everybody, so there'll be an opportunity for as many people as possible to get the joy of horse sports. Is that okay, Mark?
Well said.
Taking the joy.
We'll have a few classes will be the evening, most likely vaulting and reining, but none of the major events will be at night. And the reason for that is a combination of factors. One is television, but also they're long days, and I think it's probably better for everybody, and for especially you, to get your copy back to wherever you're coming from, to be able to finish up in a reasonable time. We have a series of test events planned for October. The first one is endurance. It will be a CEI 2-star. We're just finalising the date at the moment, but it'll either be the 7th or the 21st of October. And the courses, they're actually out today with GPS, just finalising the course the way it goes. It'll be an American type course and not a fast track course. Vaulting will be on the 19th to 22nd of October, and jumping will be integrated into one of our CSI 3-stars on the 25th to the 29th of October. April 2018, we're going to have eventing CIC 3-star, which will be, we call it the Fork. The Fork event is actually going on next week. We're going to use that for the test event. I think that should actually CIC 3-star. The dressage and para dressage will go one of our existing CDI, CPE, CPEDIs on the 19th to 22nd of April. Reining, we're going to fit in around those two events, and the same with driving. We're just trying to fit it into the European calendar, just so that chefs, keeps and team managers can come from Europe and come and see what's going on. We're very lucky that we can do all this because we already have all the stuff on site. So just for you guys, rather than go through a big long boring thing of credentials, parking, media, etc., we have a handout that will be available. I'm not sure exactly where. Up there, on the back left of the thing, which will go through all the credentials, when it'll start, parking, media center, all those sort of things. And now we want to go and show you our new promotional video that we think is really great. I want to thank the FEI especially for all their help in putting this together. It was a team effort, and I think our games are going to be a team effort, as we'd like.
And thank you so much for going through this. We're going to, let me just close with this. The FEI General Assembly made a comment at the beginning of the session saying that our strategy when we started to build Tryon was to make Tryon the Aachen of North America. After getting the wave down, the excitement and the partnership that we feel with FEI and USEF right now, we're hopeful that in 2019 we'll be referring to Aachen as the Tryon of Europe. So that is our fundamental goal, and we're excited about that. In that spirit, there's going to be a great need for partnerships, and we also placed it on as the first official sponsor of the FEI World Equestrian Games Tryon 2018 is Longines, and I want to thank Boris and his team and for stepping up and doing that, and a commitment to the sport, and a commitment to our venue, and a commitment to the games that I think will fundamentally reshape our venue, the sport, and our community. So thank you. Questions?